I'm Charlie Bright of Gold Derby, and today I'm speaking with Katherine Jackson, the writer and director of the short film Attachment Theory, as part of our Meet the Experts film shorts panel. First thing I have to ask you about is that drone in
Yes.
that movie.
Yes.
How did the design for that come about?
Oh man. Well, that took a long time. That took 3 months to design with some
Really?
great concept artists. The key was that the drone had to have personality, yet you also had to believe that this would be manufactured by a company and by the hundreds, right? So it was a key to make sure that it didn't look too animated and also was something that was buildable. I wanted to shoot as practically as possible and I wanted to build this drone. And I wanted it to be able to fly. And so I'm a bit of an arachnophobe. I have a thing about spiders, and I wanted it to look quite spider-like and bug-like. Um, so yeah, after months of designing, I designed this thing that when it was static on the ground, it would sit with its like weird little spider legs, and then when it would fly, it looked like a dead spider. The legs curl up when it goes to fly. Because yeah, I wanted it to be kind of bug-like because a lot of drones are. I looked at a lot of different drone designs that are out there. Yeah, and then the eyes were also important because it had to be able to express its emotions. So designing those were also a trick. But yeah, it took 3 months to design and 3 months to build.
I completely get where you're coming from. I also do not like spiders one bit.
Yeah,
I think I saw one in my bathroom once, and I started looking for new apartments.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Even though I'm in no place financially to do so.
No, no.
Um, uh, so I'm curious, how did this idea come about to you? Did you have a traumatizing experience with a delivery drone at some point?
You would think it's definitely no, but I also just saw, by the way, on Amazon, they're now offering drone deliveries to your doorstep, by the way. So it's not that far away. No, the idea came to me during the pandemic, when I was watching everyone self-isolate and be in their house, and a lot of people became understandably agoraphobic and scared to go outside, and also how many people struggled with their mental health, and became anxious and depressed. And so that's very much what inspired my main character. Um, and then the drone part of it came from also with the pandemic, watching our dependency on technology and how much we relied on technology to keep us connected. And while technology is meant to serve us, it also doesn't always serve us because it also drives disconnection. With it, we don't need to leave the house. We don't need to interact face to face with each other. um, you know, we have permission to never have to have contact with one another again. And I think that does affect our mental health in some ways. So all of that, all the pandemic, that really inspired this film. And also just the rise of AI and how fearful I am of that.
Yeah, I actually was curious. Do you feel like you have an innate distrust of new technology? Because it always seems like everything's just always getting
Yeah,
enhanced. And
yeah,
of course, and like you were saying with AI, everything is
yeah,
just yeah, it feels like it's just hitting us all at once.
yeah,
Do you feel like
yes.
you have an innate like distrust of that?
Absolutely. It's developing faster than we ever anticipated it, and especially with super AI. And you're seeing it even like what was released this year with Sora, and the fact that you don't now need animators, you need someone can just type in a prompt and it can conjure up something that would normally take months and months and months and a whole team of people to work on is just now conjured up like that. And you see it with Midjourney too. And it's developing faster than we ever anticipated it. We have technology now that we thought was 5 to 10 years away. And I think we're playing with fire a little bit.
I completely with you. Everything just makes me think we're just closer and closer to the robots taking over.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Skynet is going to go live very soon.
Exactly. So much of this film, I mean, hinges on the person playing Olive, the main
Yeah,
character, and you cast an actress named Abby Damon, I believe.
yeah, Abby Damon. Yeah.
What made you cast her as the film's lead performer?
She was just amazing because Olive inherently she's not unlikable, but she has unlikable traits. She's addicted to medication. She's anxious. She's depressed. She's disconnected and a little bit zombie-like. And I had to have someone who was able to be sympathetic along with that, and bring that to that performance. And I auditioned around 100 girls, and Abby stood out and was just so phenomenal and made her real and made her really, really sympathetic. And that was such a key to me. And I felt for her from the moment I saw her in her performance. I wanted to just give her a hug. And that was important for the character of Olive.
The climax of the movie is such an incredible scene at the towards the end, and I'm curious as to how long did it take to shoot the chase scene, and what were the logistical challenges to filming that, if there were any?
No, there were. I mean, we had to shoot a chase in a forest, and it took 3 days to shoot the chase. And unfortunately, the forest really was right next to our house. We shot in the forest that's next to the house, so it didn't take a lot of time to move any of our cameras and equipment, but it did take time to shoot that chase. And Abby was amazing, having to do running over and over and over again. And I wanted to make sure that the chase was exciting to watch. I wanted all the shots to be kinetic. I wanted any shot on her to be unstable and crazy, and any shot on the drone to be stable, because he is more in control. And it was even just down to those technical decisions and shooting the drone. Even with a drone, we were chasing a drone with a drone camera a lot of the time. So yeah, there was a lot of technical aspects to it, but it was really fun. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it was as exciting to watch, to make it as exciting to watch as possible. But yeah, and obviously when you're in a forest, you can't block things out. Unlike the house, I knew kind of where the camera was always going to go. So you're thinking on location, on your feet, where's the best possible shot that I can shoot right now? Where can we go? Yeah. So yeah.
You spoke to this earlier with the when we were talking about the drone, how that was practical, and it's unbelievable as a practical effect.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, what sort of special effects were used in the making of this film?
Special effects were used anytime it was a safety hazard. So the drone has a gun at the end of the film, and anytime that it fires the gun was a special effects shot. And that was purely for safety reasons. And also the drone's eyes as well were VFX, and that was also a key thing that took time to nail down, because anytime that the drone had to emote, I didn't want the drone to look too animated like a Pixar character. It had to still look like a computer, and that was harder than I thought it would be to find that balance.
So this is your first film that you've written and directed.
Yeah.
What and I believe you're 28 or something like that.
28, yeah.
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 Yeah, you're making me feel old. I'm 38, so I'm curious as to what made you wait until now to direct your first short film.
Yeah, I never felt ready to. I never felt ready enough to tackle it. It was so daunting to me. And I spent my 20s working on film sets and just observing the process of filmmaking. I didn't go to film school. I wanted to. And then when I was 19, I was offered a job to intern on a set. And so I did that. And then that just led to me being on film sets, doing different jobs, shooting behind the scenes. And I just enjoyed being a fly on the wall and observing everything, what filmmakers did right, what they did wrong, why a set would run really well versus when it would run badly. And all of that was really good education for me. But I didn't feel ready until, I shot this movie when I was 26. So yeah, when I was 26, basically was when I felt like, okay, this is time. And it was definitely after the pandemic of spending a year inside.
One of the other things that I just loved about that drone was when I noticed early on the hand that's
Yeah.
underneath there, because I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've never seen that on a drone before, and of course then it
Yeah.
ends up being very. But was that like something that you guys that that you thought that came about a bit later, or was that like right from the get-go with the design?
No, that was something that came later and actually was really hard because it's a delivery drone and I knew it had to deliver stuff and it had to be able to pick up things but I never knew when I was writing it how I was even going to do that because a drone with some sort of hand or claw could look ridiculous.
Mhm.
So in the end, yeah, I just decided that it was once again sort of like bugs, a scorpion tail. But in reverse underneath, and that it had to have this dexterity, but it should look still quite bug-like. And yeah, not be too out there or like too much of an extension from the drone.
I swear, at some point I was actually prepared for that thing to give Olive the finger at some point.
Yes,
You know.
we played around with that on set. We definitely played around with that on set. Yeah, we had a lot of fun with those hands.
Well, Katherine, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on our panel in just a little bit.
Thank you so much.